emotional doubt is very painful for folks. What is most helpful for the emotional doubter?
I love C.S. Lewis. What comes to my mind immediately in his book Mere Christianity, in a classic British sounding comment, he says, to paraphrase him, he says, if you can't control your emotions, you can't be a good Christian. You can't be a good atheist. All you're going to be is a creature dithering to and fro, dependent on the latest state of your digestion. And then he pauses and he says, we've got to learn how to tell our emotions how to get off. That's the key. Tell your emotions to take a hike. Tell your emotions to be gone. How do you do that? Well, start is to recognize that your doubt is emotional. If you keep maintaining this factual and keep studying the facts, you're going to have a lot of day afters that are good, 2 days after pretty good, 3 days after livable, 6 days after exactly where you were before. So what you do is, the famous theory from an atheist psychotherapist named Albert Ellis, who was frequently voted the most influential psychotherapist. I actually got to study with him before he died a number of years ago. But he did it in terms of ABC. There's a very simple way to think of it. ABC. A's are what happened to you. Now, if you want to know what their actual phrase is, they're activating events. It's a car accident. It's the trip and fall down the stairs. It's the getting fired. It's breaking up with a boyfriend or girlfriend. It's hearing you've got a disease and it's not going to let you play football this season. Those are A's. And almost everybody reasons that A's cause C's. Let's call C's consequences. And let's say bad consequences. Well, heck yeah, I can't play football. Heck yeah, I'm going to be in this boot for the next 2 months. Yeah, I'm just told I have to have surgery. And that's expensive too. So A's cause C's.
A's say,
Or what happened to you?
hey, what happened to me, and that's why I'm mad, or that's why I'm sad, or that's why
I have a right to be mad. Wouldn't you know how many songs do you have? Wouldn't you be mad too? Of course you do. Of course you would. If this happened to you, well, that depends. Depends on what I'm telling myself. But it doesn't follow naturally. That's the point. I heard at the same time I studied under Alice, I heard his chief, PhD in psychology, one of his chief disciples or apostles said, everybody goes from A's to C's, but A to C thinking is the fastest way to the nut house. Everyone does it, but it will make you self-destruct. That's what he said. Okay, so what do you do then? Stop it. That's what you do. Stop it. And we go, okay, great. Easier said than done. Maybe you're good at it. I'm not. How do you stop it? The first basic principle you start with is, because that happens, I don't have to feel this way. Would you feel bad? Okay, what should I say in my place? Should I feel badly about this? Not if you want to be pain free. Here's what you can say. No, I can't play football this fall, but I can take that job that I didn't want to walk away from because it was making me more money. I won't be as happy, but man, when I see that bank account, I'm gonna be doing really well. And maybe I come back halfway through the season. You tell yourself things that make a real difference. Here's another one. For Christians, you can say, and this is not a cop-out, for Christians, Peter does this. 1 Peter chapter 1, Peter says, I know you're going through persecution, but take heart. He says, Jesus died for you and was raised from the dead. And because he's been raised from the dead, he uses 4 terms in the Greek. Because he's been raised from the dead, it's solid, it's locked up, nobody can take it away from you, it'll never rust, it'll never fade. It's going to be there for you. I have eternal life. Wow, never thought about that. I have eternal life because of the resurrection. Now what are you going to do about it? I think that would probably help me live better right now. Well, if you're a step ahead of the game, that's a pretty advanced conclusion. But people who realize, here's one, we do it with college all the time. You mean if I get a PhD, I'm going to be able to X, Y, Z? Yeah. So is getting a PhD, should that make me work harder right now? Yeah. Why? Because it's all going to be worth it. I'm going to have the rest of my life to live for. So if Christ was raised from the dead and eternal life is true, in the present it tells me to think rightly about my circumstances, because thinking rightly will help my emotions, and when that time comes, it's going to help me forever. So what you do is telling your emotions where to get off. In between A and C, there's a B. The B, there's two sides to it. Good B's, bad B's. Good B's are the affirming ones. Well, wow, it's a good thing I have eternal life. Religious examples would be, I have eternal life. Another one, I can pour myself into other people, I can meet their needs. Another one, I can spend more time with my family. But here's some secular ones. I can go back and take that job and make my account grow. Next, I want to spend some time with my buddies anyway. They're doing some things, and I hate to miss the fishing trips. I hate to miss the movies. I'm going to go back and spend a little bit of time with my friend. Okay, so there could be benefits. I'm going to go into an exercise. You know, I'm a pretty good swimmer. I think I'm going to start swimming. So those are cutting the dandelion type things. You know, cutting the dandelion in your yard. The bad news is the dandelions come back, but you know, for a week the yard looks pretty nice.
I've heard this phrase one time, and I think it fits here, that we have the power to choose what to think, but what we think has power over us. So we, at that point, can dispute our B's.
We dispute them, that's correct. The A's are what happened, the C's are the consequences. In between there are B's. If you do bad B's, man, I'll tell you what, the book of Proverbs is full of this. If you do bad B's like this, bummer, life will never be the same. There goes my college scholarship. I'll never be able to play pro. I think for the rest of my life I'm going to be working at blank instead of putting money away and being a millionaire, which is one of my goals. You say, well, that's not a very good goal, but whatever, it makes him down, right? So if you let your emotions dictate your life and you go, oh no, life's a bummer from this point on, you're setting yourself up for a fall. You don't do that. You change the B's. I just told a person today who emailed me, a person who's got several major physical conditions, but he's really good at removing them by arguing. He's one of his problems is that he's got obsessive compulsive disorder. And one of the major books on this by an OCD expert says, that's your brain, that's not you. Whatever is going on in your brain, you can think differently about it. And that's the key to start getting a handle. They teach this now in medical school because it really, really works. Let's think of it this way. You can put pain in any area of your body by thinking about it. Sometimes in 1 minute. Watch your what do they call us? Fitbit.
Yeah, Fitbit.
Watch. You can cause your heartbeat to go up in 15 seconds by thinking about something. You can. Okay. You can cause your heartbeat to go down too by thinking about something else. So thoughts change this, and you can think good thoughts about a bad situation and be healthy about it. So that's the key. In emotional doubt, there's different ways to do that. But the key is no bad B's. Don't give bad B's kill, good B's give life.